Steve Nash finally got fired. Kevin Durant is pretty much carrying the Nets right now, and Kyrie Irving is all over the place as always. The Bulls have looked average to start the season, but they've shown a lot of good signs of positive movement. And the Warriors are struggling, 3-5 to start the season. We're going to discuss all that and more in another episode of. All right, you want to start with Brooklyn, just because they're always topic
Yeah,
conversation.
let's jump right into that.
Okay,
We've looked horrible. So Steve Nash gets fired after a 2-5 start, and then they lost
last
last
night
night
to
well,
us.
to make it 2-6. Yeah. So they fire Steve Nash after a 2-5 start. This was after rumors the whole offseason of the fact that Katie and Kyrie want him gone. They think he's a bad coach or he doesn't even coach, period. And then like all of that blows over. The KD trade news blows over. The Steve Nash firing gets blown over. They trade for Royce O'Neal. They look like they're assembling a decent roster and they're going to make another push again with this team. Then Kyrie Irving, Kyrie Irving he just can't put it together. I don't know what's up with athletes like him and Antonio Brown. They just can't seem to keep it together for more than like 2 weeks.
No,
Oh, some anti
Semitic.
Yeah, some anti-Semitic post, and Brooklyn is like the largest Jewish community in the US, I'm pretty sure. And the Nets ownership response to that is fire the head coach.
Yeah, because it's the head coach's fault. And now, you and I have never said Steve Nash is a good coach. I think
He's
you and I
not.
both agree he should not have coached Brooklyn. You threw him into the fire, and his game plan is just to let Kevin Durant go to work. And that
Yeah,
worked when he had two other All-Stars, but now they have Kyrie Irving, who is very good still, but they have no other shooters around, and James Harden's gone. So, so the game plan of let my best players just do what they want to do doesn't work, and that's why he's gone.
and you can see too, Kevin Durant said yesterday, I think, like, what's up? He's turning the ball over, like, and at an
Right.
extreme amount that nobody's seen before. It's because he's getting quadruple teamed every time because nobody around him could do shit except Kyrie.
Yeah, there's eyes on him at all times. And Kyrie last night was shut down. And that was where I was going to go with this is like, whether or not you want to admit it, NBA players are just humans too. And he is dealing with all the backlash he's getting right now. There's no way basketball is on the forefront of his mind. He's
Mm-mm.
not thinking, oh, I got to win tonight's game. No, he's thinking about all the drama that's going on around him. And that's his own fault. He has no one else to blame but himself for what's happening to Brooklyn. He should be held accountable most. And I understand that Kevin Durant is responsible for playing in Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving. That's what happened. But Kyrie Irving has not held up his end of the bargain of playing games, of actually providing Kevin Durant with the help that he needs, and he just causes problems. It's not like he's just sitting there doing nothing. He just causes problems.
Yeah.
Every other week, there's a new problem that he causes. It's unbelievable.
The whole situation, like, even if Kyrie Irving wasn't on the team, like, this would still be a terrible situation. Like, Ben
Oh,
Simmons is sucking it up. I
awful.
mean,
He just
I,
had
I
more. He had more fouls in the first three
really
games.
good. I thought he was going to fit perfectly with them. Yeah, yeah, he had more fouls than points. He
Yeah,
averages like 6 a game this year. He used to average 15. And that's like, or like 13 even. I would totally be fine if he averaged 12, 13 points a game.
yeah, he's
6,
terrible.
you're not even a
Terrible.
you're not even a threat.
He's still scared to shoot. And Seth Curry and Joe Harris. Joe Harris just got back, and Seth Curry isn't playing right now. But it's not like they're going to solve all your problems. They also have no size.
Yeah,
He
and
just
then
dominated the boards last night once again.
so you take this 2-5 roster with superstars who are just they can't work out together. It really doesn't look like it's going to work. You fired the head coach, and then you hire another head coach who just had sexual
Yeah, more other
confrontation with.
problems, other drama. They're bringing in more drama, and Udoka's a fantastic coach. I
He
think
is. He's a great coach.
basketball alone, like if you put him on the court, the X's and O's, he's going to coach them. They're going to win more games. He's a better
Yeah,
coach.
he's
You're
better.
bringing more drama into an organization that has the most drama, two drama-filled players in the league on their team in Kyrie and Ben Simmons. So what do you expect to happen? 2-6, and you and I both thought, hey, these could be contenders if they played like we thought they would. They're not. And I
They're-
see through 8 games, they're not going to get better because they don't have enough money to make changes. They're hoping for TJ Warren and Seth Curry back soon, but is TJ Warren and Seth Curry going to be the saviors of your team? Probably not.
No. And I love Kevin Durant and I love Kyrie Irving. I like watching them play a lot. Probably the two most fun people to watch in the NBA,
Yeah.
and they're on the same team.
Well,
And it's
they can't score enough points. That's crazy to say.
yeah,
Kevin Durant and
you
Kyrie
really
Irving
have to work
can't
together.
score enough points to win a game.
It's
That's crazy.
that is crazy.
They
They're
start
like
2-6.
you can see their offense together. It's pure isolation. It's pure.
Yeah. And
You
they've
don't play
won.
off the ball.
Yeah, they don't. Neither of them can play off the ball. And Kevin Durant it's even harder for him to play off the ball because he's quadruple teamed all the time. So the minute he catches it, he has two guys on him. He can't. I've seen a couple of games this year. The minute he catches in the post, he is immediately doubled.
Yeah, no,
They don't
no.
allow him to face up. They don't allow him to shoot. If Kevin Durant has to score, he has to force himself to score. And that's why
Yeah,
he keeps turning the ball over so much.
they're like Royce O'Neal. You want to beat us? You can shoot 45% from three tonight, or
Yeah,
50,
go ahead.
and he's not going to do that.
And it's not like the Nets are losing to like amazing teams. Like they lost to the Bulls last night. We're a solid team, but we're not top 5 in the league. They lost. Sorry, I'm pulling up there. They lost to the Grizzlies, good team in the Bucks. They lost to the Mavericks by 4, but they've lost to the Pacers as well, and they lost to us. Those are games you can't win. They should have beat Dallas in that game, and they lost to Dallas.
They should
they should have beat us. They should have 3 more wins than they do right now, and they don't.
Yeah, it's a total shit show in Brooklyn. If I'm the GM, I don't know what I can get for Kyrie right now. I'm sure LA would give you those two first round picks.
I'm trading him now. You have to. I think Brooklyn's long. I know it's 8 games in. It's a little bit overreaction, but long term for Brooklyn, you should try to trade them both.
Yeah, Durant's gone. Royce O'Neal's gone. Yeah. Anybody who's not 25 / Ben Simmons, I think he's 25 anyway.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons probably not because he doesn't have all-time high value like he would if he was running the show. So you might want to keep him. But he's a show by himself anyway. Like, it's so bad there.
It's terrible. It's been drama for years, and it's not going to get better. And this may be one of like the biggest busts of all time in terms of like 2 free agent superstars moved to Brooklyn. 3, right? James Harden went, and everyone thought championship. They haven't even made it out of the second round of the playoffs.
They lost to the Bucks in that was the second round.
Yeah, second round.
Wow.
Unbelievable. All right, let's move on from them because there's another really good team that's struggling. That's the Warriors. They're 3-5 to start the season. They lost to Miami again last night.
Right.
And the biggest reason I think that is Klay Thompson. Has Klay Thompson looked good at all in your eyes this season?
No, he hasn't. And it sucks because obviously he's a 3-time champ. He's an amazing player, but he does look a step slow. And Charles Barkley said it, and I know Klay got like salty and like actually sad about it, but you look a step slow.
He does.
As sad as that is, the Warriors top to bottom, still their roster should not be 3-5. I don't care if Klay hasn't hit a 3 all season. It's so good that you shouldn't be like that. But I mean, I don't know. They can't put it together. They have a lot of stuff going on too. There's a lot of egos on that team.
Yeah. And look at their losses. The last 3 losses, 3 in a row: Charlotte, Detroit, and Miami. And I know Miami is good, but they've also been struggling. But you need to beat Charlotte and Detroit.
You need to
beat Charlotte and Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit's an okay team. Charlotte is a bottom feeder team.
Yeah, and 2 of the 3 wins are against terrible teams: Lakers and Kings. Not good teams.
Yeah.
So I mean, Curry's been great. Like Curry's been fantastic, but Draymond hasn't looked bad either. They actually don't all look that bad. I think Klay needs to be much better, but Wiggins looked fine. Poole needs to look better, but a majority of the team's looking good, but they just can't defend and they can't win games. They're just not putting everything together.
I mean, yeah, you look at this roster top to bottom. It's the same team. It's Wiggins, Draymond, Looney, Curry, Klay, Poole, Moses Moody, Wiseman, Michael Green, Kuminga. Like, it's a really good roster. They just can't put it together right now.
And we know a lot of these teams are going to turn it around. The Warriors, I expect to turn it around. I expect Miami to turn it around. I expect teams like the Jazz and the Spurs to start to fall off a little bit. Teams like the Hawks that are 4-3 have only beat like bad teams, not doing well against good teams. So as the schedule picks up and we get to later in the year and we see who's playing who and who's playing well, we'll get a
Mhm.
better idea of who's good. But the teams that haven't been expected to be good or better, at least, like people expected the Lakers to be better, they're awful. The Warriors have been bad. The 76ers have looked average at best. They look better now, though. The Nets have looked terrible. And it's just the NBA is all over the place. It's kind of funny.
It really is. And I think that's a good thing for the NBA. That it's
I
just
agree.
not the Warriors and the Cavs going at it. Like
And
you
that
know.
helps with the tanking for Victor that's about to come.
Yeah.
Like if the Jazz say the Jazz start like 10-5, right? Let's just say they get to that. At least now they have 10 wins already. So this tank, when it does come, because they will tank towards the end of the year, I think that's
Yep.
what they're trying to do. Win games now, and it doesn't really matter, and then tank at the end. That's what I would do if I was a
Right.
team that was going to tank for him. And did you see the
Uh, I fell everybody for them.
did you see
So
the Lakers? The Pelicans have the Lakers pick. Could
yeah,
you imagine if the Lakers got the first pick and the Pelicans got it and paired Victor, Zion, Ingram, and McCollum? That
it's
would be insane.
it could happen.
Insane. All right. Let's talk about the Bulls to end this. 4-4 to start. Not disappointed. I'm not like ecstatic. I'm just happy with where we're at. Three
Me
of our
too.
wins against the Nets, Celtics, and Heat, who are supposed to be three of the top five teams in the East. We beat them all. We lost to Philly in a close game without Io and without Drummond, who of course aren't star players, but they impact the game a lot for us.
Yeah, Ios are the oil that makes our
Yeah, team go. It
team
really
go
is.
right now. He
And
really
I mean, only two of our losses are bad losses. I think that's the Cavs game where we just got blew out in the Spurs game. But the Spurs game, there's no Levine. And we lost to the Wizards with no Levine. I think if Levine plays, we win both those games. And the Philly game, we get off to a better start. That game's different. But we were down by 18 in the second quarter.
Yeah, the Cavs game hit me though. Like us losing that game, like watching Donovan Mitchell just rip us apart all
Yeah.
game. I was like, oh my God, nobody can guard him. Caruso, one of the best defenders in the NBA, couldn't touch him. Like
Yeah, he looks great this
Mitchell
year.
did this thing where he would just plant his left foot, fake like he was going this way, but he'd have the ball in his right hand and go
And just
right,
go.
right around Caruso. I was
Oh,
like, he
every
did
time.
it every time.
And I mean, it's kind of crazy because you and I, me especially, was like, yeah, I don't think Donovan Mitchell's all that. He's gonna make them better, but he's not gonna put him over the hump. But right now, he's playing like a top 10 player in the league.
He's
Like
really
right
good.
now, they're 5-1 to start. And I know we've said this multiple times, it's early still, but they've looked fantastic. And that's without Darius Garland.
Yeah.
Look really good. He has
Excellent.
centers now. He has two centers that can score the ball. He
Yeah.
not just rebound and block shots.
Right.
But
And another guy who can score the shit out of the ball right next to him, Darius
yeah,
Garland.
right.
So
But the Bulls play Hornets tonight. It'd be nice if we could get to 5-4 as we have a rough kind of rest of the week. We play Boston on Friday, I want to say,
yeah,
Toronto Sunday, and Toronto Monday. And then we get off, I think, a couple days finally.
Celtics Friday, Toronto Sunday, and then Toronto Monday as
Then
well.
isn't it the Pelicans on Wednesday?
And Pelicans, Nuggets, Pelicans again.
Right. So it's a tough stretch. I would like to that's 6 games. If we can go 3-3 or 4-2 in that, I'd be happy.
Yeah, and going into that over 500 would be really nice as well.
Yes, I agree. I mean, this is like last year. We talked about it. If we get to the stretch of 15 games and we're looking good, then I'd be happy and we look great. If we get to this stretch of 15 games looking good, I think I'd be very excited.
I
And
agree
it'll be
with that.
different this time because Lonzo comes back later in the year. He doesn't leave, unlike last year where he got hurt later in the year.
Yeah, we are adding some money, and nobody's been super hurt yet. I think Kobe didn't play,
Kobe has a quad contusion or whatever.
right,
But
but
Zach finally showed up last night. Zach looked great.
yeah,
Finally
and
showed
what
the
we were
ball out.
talking about before, I do want to kind of touch on that really quick. I think I just want to see Levine out there every night. Like I understand we have to monitor this knee situation, and especially when you pay a guy long term like that. But like games like San Antonio, where it's like we have a chance to go what 2 or 3 games over 500 at that point.
Yeah.
You gotta win that game. You gotta win that game.
And we're not good enough to be sitting guys. The league's too good now. You can't sit guys. Anyone wins any given night. It's not like an automatic win anymore, where it was a
Right.
couple years ago. So I think that Zach needs to play as much as possible. If his knee is not bothering him and he says I can play, then play.
Right.
Because it's not.
I understand. Like they rested him because we had a game that next day. That's why.
Right. But can we rest him later in the season? Like, let's rest him. He just had a whole offseason off, right? Let's rest him when we're already 10 games over,
Right. When we're
5 games
a
over
bad team.
500. And
Yeah.
then against a bad team. Because like, then we can still win that game. And even if we lose, we're still in a good position.
Yep.
Let's
No
start
doubt.
resting him like after 20 games into the season.
Yeah, because we're gonna look back to the San Antonio game. I know
Right.
we are all
Yeah,
year.
we're going to be fighting because we're going to be fighting for position in the East as we always are for like 4 through 7. And those 2 games against Washington and San Antonio where we barely lost and we didn't have Levine, I'm going to look right at those 2 games. Because
Yeah,
last year we were 2 DeMar buzzer beaters away, if he misses those, from being a play-in team.
that's insane to think about.
Yeah, so I mean our team is good right now, but I need Zach to play as much as possible. Io has looked fantastic. Vooch looks better. DeMar looks good. I need Vooch to be more efficient still. I think you and I have harped on this for last year since he got
Yeah,
here, really.
yeah,
He
since you
just
get
hasn't been efficient at all. Being
yeah, and
inefficient,
then there's some games where you just like see it and you can see like, bro,
yeah,
you can do that consistently, and he
right.
just doesn't.
And then the
Oh,
last thing,
we'll get
I
on to
think we
that.
should finish on this because I finally have something good to say about him. Patrick Williams. Good night last night.
Decent night. He
Well,
was just
he had like
there was
12
his
points.
goal.
He was very active on defense. He had 12 points on offense. He got us some buckets in the first quarter when DeMar and Levine weren't really getting it going.
Right. He
Kind
looked
of,
genuinely like, aggressive
I think
then.
he looked good. He made a couple of nice turnaround shots. I was like, wow, is that DeMar? Or is that Patrick Williams? Because those were shots that you see in DeMar's arsenal all the time.
Right.
And
And if Patrick Williams can get that shit down, if he can shoot like DeMar, he's 6'9".
oh,
He's a
unbelievable.
way better like physical prospect than DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, and
I mean,
that's
obviously he's not gonna be able to shoot like DeMar DeRozan from
right.
mid-range,
But
but
5 years from now, 5 years from now, you never know.
you never
But
know.
like the most important part I looked at took 10 shots. I don't need him to take 20. I don't need him, but he needs to take more than 5. 10 shots a game, I think, is perfect for him.
I
And
didn't
gets
know
him
he took
involved in the offense, gets him involved on he blocked a lot of shots yesterday. He did well on Kevin Durant. I know Kevin Durant had 32, but it's fucking Kevin Durant. He did a pretty decent job. He had a couple deflections, couple steals, couple blocks. I think he played really well. If he can show that type of aggressiveness, and maybe hopefully this carries over. But if he does that, that's the difference maker right there.
How many games in Patrick Williams' career do you think he's taken over 10 shots a game?
I mean, 7?
I would guess if I had to. Well, he hasn't done it once this season.
Until yesterday. He took
Yeah,
10, right?
yeah, until yesterday. He was taking about 5 to 7.
And
He
then he
take
barely played at all last year.
right.
So I think I don't know, 7's a little low. I'd say 15 because remember he did
So we know
play in the tanking days. In the tanking days, so there was games when he was just the guy
yeah,
up there.
but like we haven't seen this from him in a long time. I mean,
Right.
I'm telling you, every single game of the season so far, it's been between 5 shots and 7 shots.
Yeah.
Take 10 shots.
I
Like
mean, he's
even
the difference maker.
some nights he goes 4 for 5. Some nights he does go like 2 for 7.
Yeah.
But some nights he goes 4 for 5. Like you shoot fine.
You're right.
Just do it
4
more.
for 5, go 8 for 10. You have
Yeah.
16 points now. Get to the line. Just simple things like that.
He
And
can do it. Like
and I've become annoyed with him because he hasn't showed any progress. But last night he finally showed me some progress. I still believe in him. I need him to play better. But if he continues doing what he did last night, that's a good stepping stone.
for
And
example,
I have to say, I need to retract my Zach LaVine for MVP prediction of being a top 5 candidate, not because he's not playing well, but because he's not playing enough games. I didn't think they're gonna rest him every fucking other day.
people like taking Kawhi to win MVP. Like he's already missed 6 games this year.
Yeah, I thought Levine would actually play in the games and not have a rest management thing all the time, but I was wrong. Because in the games he's played, he's looked average. But yesterday he looked really good yesterday.
I put $20 on Kevin Durant to win MVP to start the year, so that's not looking great.
Yeah, I should have put money on Luca.
Yeah,
I think he's averaging like 32.
him and Giannis are just going.
It's unbelievable.
How do you get a player like that? Like, I want one. Well, they
Yeah, but
got
I don't know
money.
if Luca fits well in Dallas because he's just the main guy. It's just him.
It's
He
just
has the
him.
ball in his. He has to have the highest usage rate because every play for them is just let Luca go to work and find the open shooter or go get a bucket.
Yeah, I think Luka Doncic playing off ball isn't like when they eventually get another star for him because they're not just going to let him sit around with Tim Hardaway Jr. for his whole career. When they get another star, I don't know if that's going to work out unless he's like Embiid.
Do you know who the perfect star in the league for Luca to play with is?
Do you think it's Michael
Giannis.
Vick? Oh, Giannis. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
because if he has
Giannis.
Giannis, the amount of easy rolls to the basket, could you imagine that pick and roll?
Who's the best guy Levine could play with? Probably Giannis. It might be
That
Giannis.
I mean, that's anyone though. But I mean, I just feel like Luca's fit with Giannis would be amazing. He doesn't fit as well with Embiid or Jokic because those big men need the ball in their hands.
Right.
But you just need to throw the ball to Giannis, and he's gonna go get it, and he'll finish around four guys.
Yeah, and you need a guy who can take a shot at the end of the game too.
But
That
it's okay because Giannis is coming to Chicago in 3 years.
yeah, one of these days we have his brother who I heard loves it here, loves riding the pine for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I also Giannis has made statements that he'd only come here if he were to leave. So
Hmm. Oh
I
my.
mean that would be Zach would have 2 years left on his contract. Giannis would sign one.
How
Lonzo
old
would
would
still
he
be here. I know DeMar Vooch will be gone, but at that point, if you're getting Giannis, I don't really care.
Oh, neither do I.
I
DeMar can hit the road.
love you,
Like,
DeMar, but
I love you
I
for
don't think you're
that.
gonna bring us a championship this year. Giannis could.
This year.
I mean, ever. I don't think DeMar can bring us. I love to be optimistic, and I do think the Bulls will be a good contending team in the playoffs, but we're not going to win a championship.
Are
Something
we
has to go wrong for other people for us to win a championship. We're
which
not
which
beating,
that happens most every year.
yeah, but like we're not beating the Bucks, right? We're not going to beat the Bucks. We may not even beat Boston, but we could beat. I think every other team, Philly, after we didn't beat them, but after we played them, I think we can play with them for sure.
Could we beat Cleveland in 7 games right now?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of Cleveland still. I think Cleveland's got off to a hot start, but I'm not afraid of them.
Me too. I think we still got to see what happens when our fucking all-star point guard comes back. Yeah, I said all-star point guard.
If we could be like 5 to 10 games over 500 when Lonzo comes back, I would be so happy.
That's ideal. It really is.
Ideal.
The guard depth would just be through the roof. Also, shout out to Goran Dragic. Like
Oh, it's been great.
he's been great. Like
Him
kept
and
us in
Drummond have both been great.
half.
Drummond's been great
Yeah,
80% of the time.
yeah, 80%. And that's what we expected. We said he was going to be great 80% of the time.
Yeah.
And then 20% of the time, like Drummond's going to lose his 2 games this year. I swear he is. He's going to
Yeah.
do it.
But if
By
Billy's smart, you take him out right before he ruins it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what all coaches with Andre Drummond have had to do for his whole career, except
Yeah.
Stan Van Gundy, who like started him. Remember when he was doing that, averaging like 16 boards a game in Detroit, taking them to the 8th seed with Reggie Jackson?
Yep. Him, who was it? Contavious Caldwell Pope and
Yeah,
Reggie Jackson
KCP
leading them all the way to the 8th seed to
to
be
the
swept by
Cavaliers
LeBron
in the
James.
first round. Yeah. Andre Drummond. Now,
Yeah.
the Clippers have been interesting as well. John Wall looks good. Reggie Jackson looks really bad.
Paul George had one good game, but he's looked terrible.
Yeah, Paul George hasn't looked great.
And Kawhi's not even playing. Is he hurt again?
They're just
It's not even worth. That's why I can't discuss half the teams in the NBA because they all just piss me off. Because some of them always have some bullshit going on that like just play. At least
there's
with
a
the Bulls, like at least we're playing. Like yes, Lonzo's hurt, but there's no drama in Chicago. The
yeah,
only
but
drama is like actually
there's
basketball related.
always some injury bullshit.
Yeah. All right,
Constantly.
but that's gonna be it for today's episode. Keep tuning in. We'll start posting more. I know we keep saying that, and we've been lazy, but we will start uploading more, especially as the season gets into full swing. We see who's actually be good, bad, and in the middle. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.